Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I have one very important question for you. Do you still aim down sight when you're in close quarter combat? Because then you're an idiot. Let's talk about Mp5 Hipfire version versus the Mp7 Hipfire version. Because from my usual understanding, the Mp5 is the close quarter combat weapon, shits on the Mp7 every single way, and it's the best Hipfire weapon in the whole game. Let's put that to a test and see who is the beast, who is the Hipfire monster, and which gun should you build how to dominate in close quarter combat that you never have to ADS in ever again. You just jump in a building and go brr, 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 brr. No problem, everyone's dead. I was asked to zoom a little bit more in this overview, so you won't see me, but you will see all the stats. We have the Mp7 on the left, Mp5 on the right, 950 fire rate versus 800 fire rate, so that already speaks for it. Yes, the Mp7 deals less damage per bullet. That is definitely an upside for the Mp5. Bullet velocity is kind of the same. The Mp7 has a faster ADS time, which doesn't matter here. You actually do move faster, way faster with the Mp7 than you do with the Mp5. That is kind of like a surprise. The reload speed is tremendously better, and the most important part also is that the Mp7 has a 60 round mag where the Mp5 tops at 45 round mags. If we look here at the bottom left, this is the Hipfire area, which is 5.5k pixels, square pixels, versus 7.5k square pixels. So the standard Mp7 Hipfire is already better than the Mp5 Hipfire. Let's put that to a real life test. Let's start with the base Mp5. Just 30 bullets straight into the wall. Quite big, obviously, and we're shooting that on a decent range, but this is obviously also a range I would shoot that gun fully equipped on, as it sounds crazy here. And that's the Mp7. And we can already see a difference here. Obviously, the super high fire rate of the Mp7 pulls the gun up if we don't control it. But you see here, in the middle, few single bullets, and look at the cluster you have here already. So yes, I can see how the whole spread is tinier considering on the Mp7. So the base Mp7 has the better hipfire, realistically. But if we now completely equip both guns, if we put all the hipfire attachments on, especially the secret hipfire attachment, no stock, they are faster, stronger, better, rangier, everything. And we might even have a sneaky surprise on top of. How would the full hipfire Mp5, how would the full hipfire Mp7 look? Let's start with the Mp5. So the best attachments for hipfire is obviously the 5mm laser. It adds hip to fire accuracy and sprint to fire speed. That's the thing to slap on. Then you obviously need the foregrip. That's also the second hipfire accuracy attachment. And what is the third hipfire accuracy attachment? Most of you might not know, but the collapsible stock / no stock attachments all grant you 17% hipfire area. It makes this hipfire area better by 17% while giving you movement speed and ADS movement speed. Yes, your vert recoil gets higher, and that's crazy because you have higher vert recoil, but realistically that does not matter because you're never going to ADS in. Like, you're not worrying about vertical recoil. You're jumping into someone's face close to him and you can beam him on, and with the full hipfire versions up to 10 meters. Easy. We're going to slap on the ammunition, 45 round mag. No, the 10 round mag is not worth it. And here comes the fancy part now. Yes, you could put on a barrel, rear grip, perk, whatsoever. But I am starting an experiment here. I want to know if the muzzle brake, who does take care that the bullets don't go that far left and right, kind of squashing the horizontal bounds, getting rid of the visual recoil too, and making your gun more stable. If the muzzle brake actually works on the hipfire area too. So we're going to have two tests happening, with muzzle brake and without muzzle brake. Unsurprisingly, the Mp7 is going to follow the same route. You're going to put on the 5mm laser, Merc foregrip, 60 round mag, big advantage because you just have more to spray, more people to kill, no stock, and then last but not least, the muzzle brake here too. No, you don't need any of the barrels. It surprised me too that you don't need any of the barrels. The most important part about the Mp7 though is you should take a blueprint that has the bigger notch. So some of the blueprints in the Mp7 category have a bigger notch, like the mud dropper. We look at the mud dropper and look at the preview animation. You see this is like an Archangel barrel. I can show you that in action later too. But that is 100% important. The Harpy has the same. Look Look at the Harpy. Has the same. A little bit thicker if I'm not mistaken. The Trevor didn't have it. The Eflux has it, but the Eflux also has tracer rounds, so that's a bit bad. The Piercer did not have it. See, the dot is missing. The Cataclysmic did have it, but I think it looked a bit thicker here, that one. But still, Notch plus Archangel Bearer pretty much. Look for that. Yes, it's kind of pay to win, but it makes a big difference on the reticle and the big difference on how your whole MP7 does actually feel. Now let's put these guns to a real test. Okay, we talked about all the attachments. How do the guns behave in real life? I'm really excited to see if the muzzle brake in the long run is actually going to do something. So first, 4 attachments without muzzle brakes, and then adding the muzzle brake to see if the spray does feel different. So we're going to put the Mp5 here to the right. And that's what I'm saying, like, this distance is nothing for the Mp5. That's how the full Hipfire build just goes and claps and is super, like, you can stand this far away from a target and you're sure to hit. Now let's see what the Mp7 does. And that's like the crazy part. This is the Mp7 on range. Like, look at the whole spray being just way thinner. Obviously, the fire rate of the gun pulls it up. So if you control it, you're just clustered in this regard. Like, imagine this just down here. Because the Mp5 has the advantage, obviously, with the low fire rate that it's already natively clustered, but it's more spread to the left and the right. So you have a high error margin to miss. Where the Mp7 is just way clustered together. But now comes the big question. What about the muzzle brake, which is supposedly meant to squash the horizontal bounce even more, but usually it does that when ADSing, also reducing the visual recoil. Does it help with the Hipfire? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, muzzle brake is on. Does it help? Is it realistically going to make it even thinner? Yes, it does. I feel that like all the shots are way more clustered. Like, look at the cluster of shots here. Look at the cluster of shots here. We get a. What if I try to control this now? Recoil what, right? Just holding it down on one spot, more or less not letting it go in this case. That's really nice and tight. Look at this bundle of bullets here. Just with the Hipfire and this distance. And I could even go all the way back here. And we could just aim for this, right? Obviously, the Hipfire gets higher the more distance you put in. But still, it wouldn't be god-bedamned awful. You're going to go in the cluster up here to the right. It wouldn't be god-bedamned awful. I'm very surprised about that. This is quite nasty to consider that the muzzle brake does help a bit with that. I've been thinking about to add the compensator, but the thing about the compensator is you're already like you're clustered in, like your spray isn't like high up, right? The compensator wouldn't do anything in that. But what you want to minimize is like the left and right bounce to squeeze them more together to have a better feel for it. And that's where I think the muzzle brake did a fantastic good job. Yeah. I thought I'm gonna die there to his car boop. Damn. We are in a game versus a buttload of bots just to show you off the range ability of the gun. What you can technically do with it, what there is possible, how you can still hit your shots despite bigger ranges happening, and how freaking accurate it is. Mp5, Mp7, both fantastic burner guns. I would say the Mp7 definitely more precise. The Mp5 packs a bigger punch. The Mp7 also moves way faster and has 60 bullets. If you're sick of the Mp5 and you want a real alternative with a better hipfire, because yes, the Mp7 is the better hipfire gun when it comes down to the hipfire spread, then you found your new friend. I really enjoyed playing the Mp7 in the Warzone. I've paired it together with an AR because you can't pair this with a sniper. Since you're really relying on that hipfire build, technically you can spray it also ADS time, but I would not recommend to do that. So I played this gun with Fin LMG, PKM, M4, AK, whatever you kind of want. Like, you can even play together with a blue dot gun, every single AR VLK optic you can imagine. Also from our Explained series, the Odin, you can just use them and have a full running banger loadout. If you also add double time to this, where double time higher the duration of the tactical sprint and also increases your crouch movement speed by 30%, you're going to be the fastest zoomer on the battleground with the Mp7, just jumping in people's faces. And the best part is you don't worry about ADS times anymore, because you just tack double sprint super in their face, hipfire, and they're dead. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the Mp7 Mp5 comparison video. Something different today, trying to get you all the knowledge there, trying to offer you more guns to play in the Warzone. I do usually hate the Mp7. I think it's a stupid gun, but as this hipfire version, it has actually leveled up to my new favorite close quarter combat gun that you're going to see a lot on the stream. And yes, I already get a gameplay video ready for you with a lot of amazing scenes and good laughs about the Mp7 and how hard it clapped some butt cheeks left and right. Wish you a fantastic day. Thanks for furthermore supporting the YouTube channel, pushing us even better. Can't wait to get the second YouTube channel starting next week with Ghost of Tsushima currently planned, then AC Valhalla. We're going to have Cyberpunk on there, Demon Souls, even more things to come, so you have good content to enjoy. See you soon in the Warzone.